And so, yeah, I just thought I'd hang out a little bit and celebrate with you, a little bit of an impromptu live stream here. So, yeah, to celebrate the launch of this new series, right, this new concept, and to talk a little bit, I guess, about the idea behind that. And yeah, so this stems, this Harpist in the Wild idea, I guess, kind of has its origins in, I can trace it back to maybe 2017. So I just published my book, Five Solos for Lever Harp, and I was looking at getting a new lever harp because the Aoyama lever harp that I have that I started with, needs some work. It's pretty old, and I just wanted something that sounded better, and something that I would feel good about taking outside and recording with. And that was so the 2017, right, was when I got my Kamak Excalibur, which of course sounds great, but it's a little bit heavy. But anyway, yeah, I still take it outside, and recorded a couple of the pieces then from that book. So for example, here, Forgotten Summer. Or O Carolyn's Farewell to Music. And in particular in Forgotten Summer, you might notice that it's pretty shaky at the beginning. And I was also, as well as getting a new harp, I was looking at upgrading my camera gear. So I guess in February of 2018, I ended up getting this GH5 that I'm streaming with right at the moment, so I can't show it to you. But a fantastic video camera. I mean, the autofocus is not great, but everything else is fantastic, and it's got in-body stabilization, so it's great for handheld shots. And it ended up being a great purchase because in the process of learning about it and how to operate it, I ended up really digging much deeper into photography and learning so much more, not only about videography, but about photography. And that got me going outside. It was just that extra excuse to spend a lot more time outdoors, right? And especially growing up, I spent a lot of time outdoors, but these days, when I'm practicing, I'm inside. When I'm teaching, I'm inside. When I'm working at the computer, I'm inside. So it's just nice to have that extra excuse and incentive. And so photography has become a very important hobby for me and a great way to get outside. And that year then, 2018, I ended up, as part of the 1 million views celebration event, the dog that took my shoes, the celebration event, I ended up filming for the first time myself in a tree. So that was for this Legend of Ashitaka, which I didn't actually publish at that time, but I filmed that spring. Let me play that for you. Harpist in a tree, and of course the piece is a Japanese piece, and so very cliche. But I was trying to film in a cherry tree, and I just love that idea of the whimsy of a harpist in a tree, right? And that really tickled my funny bone, right? It was it's very humorous, and so that idea, that harpist in a tree, I sort of pondered that, and over that summer I actually filmed a bunch of stuff. But not in a tree. And that's actually what you'll see here coming up in episode 1 the next several weeks. And then I eventually did publish Harpist in a Tree, including the Vivaldi, right? The Vivaldi Autumn theme later that year. Hold on to. brother Noah. So, yeah, but again, the problem with Harpist in a tree as a concept was that I needed to find an appropriate tree, and of course I was kind of restricted to my little electric harp that you saw there in the first episode of Harpist in the Wild. But which is, you know, it's nice, but it's also, there are times when I want to play my Excalibur, or even to play my pedal harp. And so I didn't end up I did the Petite Berceuse, but I didn't do that many episodes of Harpist in a Tree. And I'll definitely return to that concept of being in a tree, but just this idea of Harpist in the Wild gives me more scope to combine nature footage, right? And again, it's partly an aesthetic thing. Like I love being outdoors. I love being in nature. I think it's really very healthy. But I think also just as an aesthetic, it's a wonderful backdrop. And, if I were maybe in Europe where I had a bunch of architecture that I found inspiring, that would also be a great setting as well. But yeah, just being outdoors provides just this wonderful, wonderful setting, music and nature. And so, yeah, so I'm really happy with this idea of Harpist in the Wild. Again, this first episode, the first season coming up, you're going to see 4 episodes, all with my little electric harp, all sort of improvs. But then the next season, it's going to be a bunch of stuff on my Kamak Excalibur, and also potentially on, I guess there's for sure going to be one piece with this, with the idea that I'm going to be talking about the piece in nature and then performing it here in my studio. So yeah, really happy with that kind of concept. And I want to also just play this little clip. Victoria mentioned in the comments remembering the harp, the dog, and the shoe, and another email of somebody remembering that as well. So on that O'Carolyn's Farewell to Music, this happened when I was filming that.
Whoa, let's back up for a moment. I recorded my arrangement of O'Carolyn's Farewell to Music at local Mount Doug Park. As far as mountains go, Mount Doug isn't that tall, just a little over 160 meters. Still, it's a bit of a hike. To get to Little Mount Doug, the slightly lower and less frequented peak, it's over a 1 kilometer hike there. So my brother, a friend, and myself carried my harp up, found a likely looking spot that was out of the way, and set up to start filming. Of course, on the hike up, I was wearing sneakers. For the shoot, I'd changed out of my sneakers into some nicer looking shoes. Left my sneakers with the rest of our stuff. This, apparently, was a mistake, as the dog, taking its human out for a walk, spotted them and was overjoyed, just as we were about to do our first take. Fortunately, my shoe was recovered intact, the rest of the shoot went smoothly, and I was able to hike back down again safely. All in all, an eventful couple of hours.
No. Down.
Good times. So, yeah, really excited about this. And as they say, so this project, again, oftentimes I end up percolating. I end up thinking about a project for a while before actually it ends up getting published. So coming up here, these next 3 weeks, episodes 1, 2, and 3 of season 1, these improv sessions, are all actually footage from 2018. And again, it's nice to have a whole bunch of episodes lined up, ready to go, and then I have ideas for future episodes that I'm going to be working on in this coming time period. So yeah, really excited to do this. And yeah, look what I found. And also, of course, this is I'm posting these on a brand new YouTube channel, and I thought I'd just talk a little bit about that. So it's funny. So the YouTube algorithm really prefers it if you sort of upload the same content all the time in a channel, because then it knows, because of course YouTube's goal is to keep people watching, because that means they can play more ads and make more money. And so they want to know, they want to match content with what they think you will like, and therefore they want to have a sense that this channel is always going to sort of produce the same content. And YouTube algorithm aside, obviously with my regular channel, Josh Lane, YouTube/Josh Lane, I have, of course, Harp Tuesday is most of the videos there, but also, of course, music videos, right? Because those are both the things I do. And of course, if you're interested in Harp Tuesday, you're probably interested in my performances, hopefully. But if you're interested in my performances, you're not necessarily interested in Harp Tuesday. And so both the YouTube algorithm and I think people in general, there's an argument to be made for sort of segmenting those two things, right? The instructional stuff with Harp Tuesday and the music videos and performance is a separate thing. So anyway, that's what I'm trying. I've got this new Harpist in the Wild channel, and so yeah, I think we're already up to 170 subscribers, but certain, I still don't have certain functionality. I don't put video ads currently on my videos, but that's not available, wouldn't be an option anyway. But I can't post links, for example, as cards, except to other YouTube videos until I get, I don't know, like 1,000 subscribers and a certain number of watch hours. But it's also kind of exciting, right, to kind of grow from the beginning, a new channel. And I just think potentially this is a good idea because, again, I hope the audience for something like Harpist in the Wild is actually broader than the audience for Harp Tuesday, which of course is a very niche thing. So anyway, I would definitely encourage you, if you haven't already, to subscribe to that new channel. And if you want, click the bell icon so you actually get notified. And yeah, we'll see how that all goes. But yeah, it's kind of exciting to again start from the beginning and grow. And I see some people, yes, have definitely already subscribed. And yeah, I don't have a teaser to share with you for next episode, but I think I shared a little bit in the end of the episode you just watched, the Winter's Day. And again, if you're a harpist, and I imagine most of you here, I think, are harpists, you can get the sheet music, right? You may already have had it if you're already signed up to my email newsletter, and if you haven't, just subscribe and you'll get the sheet music, and it's very easy, and it's something that you could play again with a bunch of friends, or you could record all the parts yourself. Yeah, so tune in next week. As I say, these next 4 weeks, you're going to hear a bunch of improvs on my little electric harp. And I had some questions, I think, about that. So I did a couple episodes, I think, about this. I think I got this in 2017 as well. And it's, it makes enough sound acoustically that you can tell what you're playing, but it is designed to be plugged into an amp, or when I'm out there on location, what I do is I just plug it into my little Zoom recorder. And the nice thing about that is that you're not picking up any noise. Now you can occasionally hear the wind blowing through the strings, but you can't hear the wind blowing over the microphone because I'm not using a microphone. And no worries about dogs barking or airplanes going overhead or anything like that. So that's, I think, really a bonus. Now, I have found that by putting this inside the body of my Excalibur, that also functions really well at sort of cutting out the surrounding noise as well to some extent. Yeah, so you'll see those 4 episodes, and then the season 2, you're going to hear a bunch of Baroque music, again, mainly on my Kamak Excalibur. So, hey, thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. I also published a Harp Tuesday episode today, so you got lots of Josh Lane content. And I will, next week, tune in on Saturday for the very first episode of Season 1 of Harpist in the Wild. Cheers.